Ladies and gentlemen, you want to be a beast. You want to stand out from the crowd, rise above the noise, and create something in this world that can't be ignored. It's time to stop making excuses, stop waiting for the perfect moment, stop looking for shortcuts. Being a beast isn't about waiting for the world to hand you something. It's about what you do every single day. It's about the mindset you bring to the table, the choices you make, and the determination to do whatever it takes to get where you want to go. You know what a beast does. A beast shows up every single day, no matter the weather, no matter the situation, no matter how tired, how beaten down, how defeated they feel. A beast doesn't take days off because they understand that every second counts. You have 24 hours in a day. That's all you've got. What you choose to do with those hours defines who you become. When you wake up, the first decision you make is how you're going to approach the day. Are you going to rise and grind, or are you going to let the day drag you along? A beast knows that success doesn't come without sacrifice. If you're waiting for someone to hand it to you, you're never going to get it. This world owes you nothing. You've got to take what's yours. That's the mentality you meet. It's not about sitting back and hoping things will change. It's about understanding that if you want to level up, you need to work harder than anyone else around you. You need to dig deeper when everyone else is tired. You need to push past the limits you've set for yourself, and trust me, you have limits you don't even know are there. It's going to be hard. It's going to be frustrating. There are going to be times when you doubt yourself, when you want to quit, when the mountain seems too high to climb, and that's okay. We all face it. But what separates the average from the extraordinary, what separates the people who talk about being beasts from the people who actually are beasts, is the ability to push through those moments. You have to develop a mentality where quitting is not an option. Never. When the pain hits, when the setbacks come, when everything tells you to stop, that's when you dig in. That's when you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you think you can. That's when you get stronger, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. That's when you start to build the kind of character that others look at and think there's someone who refuses to give up. You can't be a beast and stay comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of progress. When you get too comfortable, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you start dying. A beast is constantly pushing themselves beyond their comfort zone. A beast is always looking for the next challenge, the next opportunity to test their limits. You have to be willing to fall, to fail, to make mistakes. That's part of the journey. Failure isn't something to be feared, it's something to be embraced. Failure means you've tried. It means you're learning. It means you're growing. It means you're in the fight. If you haven't failed yet, you haven't tried hard enough. Failure is a lesson in disguise. It shows you what didn't work so you can adjust, improve, and come back even stronger. A beast doesn't stay down after a fall. A beast gets back up, dusts themselves off, and gets right back to work. But there's more to being a beast than just the grind. It's not enough to just work hard. You have to work smart. Focus on your purpose. You need a vision. You need to understand where you're headed. If you don't know where you're going, then you're just moving in circles. You've got to set goals. Write them down. Make a plan. And then you execute that plan with everything you've got. And don't think that it's going to be easy. Don't think that you're going to get it right every time. It's going to take time, energy, and effort. There will be nights where you're working when everyone else is asleep. There will be times when you feel like you've given everything, but it's still not enough. But that's when the real work begins. When you feel like you've given it all, but there's still more inside you. That's when you find out what you're really made of. Let's talk about focus for a minute. Focus is what separates the beast from the average. When you're focused, you eliminate distractions. You don't let the small stuff get in your way. People will try to pull you in 1,000 different directions, but you've got to stay on your path. Don't get sidetracked. Don't let the noise drown out your purpose. Keep your eyes on the prize. And remember, being a beast is not about beating other people. It's about beating yourself. It's about waking up every day and saying, how can I get better today? How can I improve? How can I be better than I was yesterday? You are your own competition. The only person you need to focus on outperforming is the version of yourself that you were yesterday. The truth is, there are no shortcuts. The road to success is a long, tough one. There's no magic formula, no secret trick. It's about consistent effort. It's about putting in the work when no one's watching. It's about having that discipline to do what needs to be done, even when it feels like no one else cares. Because guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares how hard you're working or how things get. People respect results. People respect those who show up day after day putting in the work. So if you're serious about being a beast, it's time to stop talking and start doing. It's time to make every moment count. Every minute you waste is a minute you'll never get back. Every opportunity you don't seize is one you'll regret. Don't wait for things to change. I don't wait for someone to give you permission to chase your dreams. Go out and get it. Take it. You've got everything you need right now. The only thing standing in your way is you. You can either sit back and let life pass you by, or you can decide to take control. It's time to be a beast. And a beast doesn't wait. A beast makes their own path. A beast doesn't ask for permission, they take action. A beast knows that the only thing holding them back is the story they're telling themselves. If you're telling yourself that you can't do it, you're wrong. If you're telling yourself that it's too hard, you're wrong. If you're telling yourself that you don't have what it takes, you're wrong. The only thing stopping you is your own mindset. Change that. Believe in yourself. Trust in your abilities. And when you face challenges, when you face adversity, know that this is where the real growth happens. It's in the struggle. It's in the fight. That's where the beast is born. So, I'm here to tell you, if you want to be a beast, if you want to rise above the crowd, if you want to leave a legacy, it's time to get to work. No more waiting. No more excuses. No more thinking it's too late or too hard. It's never too late. And it's never too hard. A beast is born out of discipline, out of hard work, out of persistence. A beast shows up and keeps showing up no matter what. The only thing standing between you and your greatness is your willingness to push past your limits. So step up. Make the decision. The choice is yours. Don't wait for life to happen to you. Make life happen. Be relentless. Be unstoppable. Be a beast. Being a beast is about showing up every day, no matter the circumstances. Consistent effort, even when it's difficult, is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Failure is not something to fear. It's a part of the journey. Every failure is a lesson that helps you grow stronger and come back better, so never quit after a setback. A beast stays focused on their goals and purpose. Distractions are inevitable, but it's critical to keep your eyes on what matters and consistently work towards that vision. Comfort is the enemy of progress. To be a true beast, you need to constantly challenge yourself, push beyond your limits, and step outside of your comfort zone to achieve real growth. Success doesn't come from waiting for opportunities. It comes from taking action. Stop making excuses and take responsibility for your journey. Create your own path and make it happen. Consistency and discipline are the bedrock upon which everything of value is built. You cannot expect to accomplish anything significant without first understanding that these two qualities are non-negotiable. They are not traits that can be picked up at will or acquired in a short burst of effort. They are earned through sustained, purposeful action over time. This is the reality you must face if you want to build something lasting. It's easy to get excited at the start of any new venture. The idea of something fresh, something to be pursued with passion, is thrilling. But enthusiasm fades quickly. Life happens. The daily grind sets in. The early energy wanes. And you'll begin to see how many people who started with you are now nowhere to be found. The question is, what do you do when that initial spark has disappeared and the road ahead seems long, uncertain, or even impossible? The answer lies in consistency. Consistency is the art of showing up even when the excitement fades. It's the commitment to putting in the work day in and day out, no matter how you feel. Because the truth is, feelings will betray you. On days when you don't feel motivated, on days when distractions are calling, on days when you're exhausted or discouraged, it's your ability to stay consistent that will determine whether or not you succeed. Consistency doesn't require perfection. It doesn't mean that you're going to hit every goal or perform flawlessly every single day. What it does mean is that you are willing to put in the work regardless of the obstacles, the setbacks, or the internal resistance you may face. The key to consistency is developing the habit of doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's about showing up day after day, regardless of circumstances. You see, motivation is fickle. It comes and goes like the wind, and if you rely on motivation alone, you will never get very far. Motivation is a fuel, and like all fuels, is temporary. When the novelty of a project wears off or when things don't go as planned, you will need more than motivation to keep moving forward. You will need discipline. Discipline is the muscle that makes consistency possible. It's what allows you to push through the fatigue, the frustration, and the doubt. Discipline is the ability to act in alignment with your goals, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's a decision to stay on track, no matter what. Discipline is what will carry you when motivation disappears. There's an old saying that goes, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. What does that mean? It means that your success is less about setting big, ambitious goals and more about the systems and habits you put in place to achieve them. Without systems, even the most determined people will struggle. Consistency is a system. It's about creating a structure in your life that makes success inevitable. It's the daily habits, the routines, the small actions that, when compounded over time, lead to big results. Whether you're building a business, training for a sport, or working on a personal development goal, the most important thing you can do is establish a set of daily actions that reinforce your objectives. Without these consistent actions, you'll find it hard to build momentum. The beauty of consistency is that it compounds. The small actions you take today will add up over time. Think about it like this. If you commit to reading just 10 pages of a book every day, that's 3,650 pages in 1 year, about 10 full-length books. If you commit to working out just 30 minutes every day, that's 182 hours of exercise in a year. These may seem like small, insignificant efforts in isolation, but over time they lead to extraordinary results. That's the power of consistency. It's about stacking these small actions and letting them build on each other, creating exponential growth. However, none of this can happen without discipline. Discipline is what turns intention into action. It's easy to talk about your goals. It's easy to say, I want to be successful, or I want to change my life, but the real question is, what are you doing every day to make that happen? What are you doing right now that's moving you in the direction of your dreams? The thing that separates those who talk about their goals and those who actually achieve them is discipline. Discipline is the key to making consistency sustainable. Consistency is also a reflection of your mindset. If you're someone who believes that success is a matter of luck or some external factor outside of your control, then you will never understand the power of consistency. On the other hand, if you believe that your actions dictate your outcomes, that what you do day after day is what will determine the course of your life, then consistency becomes your greatest ally. It's your belief in your ability to control your destiny through consistent effort that will keep you moving forward, even when progress is slow. The process of developing consistency and discipline begins with making a decision. It's a decision to commit to the journey, not just the destination. It's a decision to take responsibility for your own progress, to stop blaming external circumstances or the lack of opportunities, and to take ownership of your actions. The journey of success is rarely linear. It's filled with setbacks, mistakes, and challenges that test your resolve. This is why discipline is so important. It's not just about how hard you work when things are going well. It's about how you respond when things aren't going your way. How do you handle adversity? How do you handle days when you don't feel like pushing through? A disciplined person will not quit simply because things get tough. They will find a way to keep moving forward, even when it's hard. One of the most difficult things about being consistent is fighting the temptation to quit when you don't see immediate results. We live in a world that rewards instant gratification. We want results now, and we want them fast. But the truth is, the most meaningful successes in life take time to develop. Consistency isn't about seeing immediate rewards, it's about showing up regardless of the outcome in the short term. It's about having faith in the process, trusting that your efforts will bear fruit in the long run, even when progress feels slow. Many people give up just before they would have succeeded. They stop working out, they stop writing, they stop pushing forward when they're only a few steps away from the breakthrough they've been working toward. Discipline helps you see things through. It keeps you focused on the process rather than the result. knowing that every step you take is getting you closer to your goal, even if you can't see it right away. The most successful people understand that life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. They know that the true test of their character is not in the intensity of their first efforts, but in their ability to stay consistent when things get difficult. They don't ride the highs and lows of motivation. They build systems that allow them to perform regardless of external circumstances. This is why consistency is the key to long-term success. It's what allows you to endure the ups and downs of life and keep your focus on your ultimate goal. To cultivate consistency and discipline, you must build an environment that supports them. You cannot rely on willpower alone to get things done. Willpower is a limited resource. Instead, you need to create systems, routines, and environments that make it easier to stay disciplined. Set yourself up for success by creating an environment that removes distractions, eliminates unnecessary choices, and reinforces the behaviors you want to adopt. For example, if you want to be consistent with your fitness, lay out your workout clothes the night before, plan your meals, and set aside a specific time for exercise each day. When your environment supports your goals, consistency becomes almost automatic. The more you automate your actions, the less you have to rely on your willpower to get them done. Ultimately, consistency and discipline are the foundations of every great achievement. Without them, all the talent in the world won't get you far. You can have all the skills, all the knowledge, all the potential in the world, but without the discipline to stay consistent, none of it matters. Talent alone doesn't win. Hard work combined with consistent effort will always outshine talent that isn't backed by discipline. If you can embrace consistency and discipline, you will unlock the potential to achieve anything you set your mind to. No matter the obstacles or challenges you face, the power of consistent, disciplined action will carry you through. The choice is yours. Will you make it happen? Or will you let it slip away? The path to success isn't easy, but it is simple. Show up, do the work, and stay consistent. Everything else will follow. Failure is not a setback. It is not a dead end, nor is it a reflection of your worth or abilities. Failure is an essential part of growth. It's a powerful force in your journey towards success that can only be understood if you choose to embrace it rather than fear it. Failure is often perceived as something negative, as something to be avoided at all costs. But those who truly achieve greatness know that failure isn't something to run from. It's something to lean into, learn from, and ultimately grow through. The first thing you need to understand about failure is that it's inevitable. No one reaches their highest potential without stumbling along the way. If you look at the most successful people in any field, whether they're athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or scientists, you'll find one thing in common. They all failed at some point. In fact, many of them failed repeatedly before they ever succeeded. What made them stand out wasn't their lack of failure, but their ability to rise after falling. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Without failure, there can be no growth, and without growth, there can be no true success. When you fail, it's easy to feel defeated, disheartened, and ready to quit. You may start to doubt yourself and question whether you're cut out for the task at hand. But this is where the most important lesson lies. Failure is not a reflection of your ability or your potential. It's simply a part of the learning process. When you fail, you are given the opportunity to examine what went wrong and figure out how to improve. It's a chance to refine your approach, sharpen your skills, and become better than you were before. But only if you allow it to be a catalyst for growth rather than a reason to give up. In our society, we're often conditioned to view failure as something shameful, something that means we're not good enough. We avoid failure at all costs, and in doing so, we miss out on the powerful lessons that it offers. The fear of failure holds us back from taking risks, trying new things, or pushing beyond our limits. This fear creates a barrier that keeps us stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, afraid to step out of our comfort zones. But the truth is, failure is the ultimate teacher. It's the experience that helps you understand what works, what doesn't, and what needs to be done differently next time. When you embrace failures, you start to see it for what it really is, an opportunity for growth. You begin to understand that every time you fall short of your goal, you've learned something invaluable about yourself and the task at hand. Failure teaches resilience. It teaches perseverance. It teaches humility. And above all, it teaches the importance of persistence. When you fail and rise again, you build mental toughness. And that toughness is what separates those who succeed from those who quit. Growth is an ongoing process. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen in a straight line. You don't reach your peak and then stop growing. Growth happens in phases, often through trial and error, and failure plays a major role in every phase. It's essential to view failure as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Without the lessons of failure, you cannot reach the next level. Every successful person will tell you that they've encountered failure at some point, whether it was the failure of a business venture, the loss of a big game, or a failed experiment. Yet it is through these very failures that they found the strength and knowledge to keep going. Every failure is an opportunity to reassess your strategy, adapt your approach, and refine your methods. The key to embracing failure is shifting your mindset. You must reframe failure as a positive force in your life, not something to be avoided or feared. This shift in perspective allows you to embrace the challenges that come with pursuing your goals. You start to realize that the pain of failure is not permanent, it's temporary. And more importantly, it is a sign that you're on the right path. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who take failure in stride. They don't let it define them. Instead, they let it refine them. One of the most valuable things failure can teach you is the importance of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after facing adversity. It's the strength to stand up after you've been knocked down and keep moving forward. Life will inevitably test you. Things will not always go as planned, and you will experience setbacks. But resilience is what allows you to weather the storm and keep going, even when the odds seem stacked against you. When you fail, it's an opportunity to test your resilience. The stronger your resilience, the greater your capacity for growth. Growth through failure also requires self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on yourself when you don't achieve your goals or when things don't go according to plan. But the reality is, growth takes time. It's a gradual process that requires patience, persistence, and kindness toward yourself. Beating yourself up after every failure will only hinder your growth. Instead, be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with the same compassion that you would offer a friend who's struggling. When you fail, acknowledge the mistake, learn from it, and move forward with renewed focus. Failure is not a permanent state. It's a moment in time that you can learn from and grow beyond. There's also a powerful element of vulnerability in embracing failure. When you fail, you're acknowledging that you don't have all the answers. You're admitting that you took a risk and didn't succeed the first time. This vulnerability can be uncomfortable, but it's an essential part of growth. Vulnerability allows you to approach failure with an open mind. It removes the fear of judgment and allows you to focus on the lessons that can be learned. It also opens the door to innovation. When you fail, you often discover new approaches, new ways of thinking, and new strategies that you would never have encountered if you were afraid to fail in the first place. People who avoid failure are often the same people who avoid taking risks. But risk is a natural part of growth. Without taking risks, you'll never know your true potential. Failure is the inevitable companion to risk. You cannot take risk without also accepting the possibility of failure, but that's where the magic happens. Every time you take a risk, you're giving yourself the opportunity to stretch beyond your current limits. And even if you fail, you're still further ahead than you would have been if you hadn't tried at all. Consider the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by playing it safe. They didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by taking risks, failing, and learning from those failures. It's easy to look at someone who has achieved great success and assume that their journey was smooth, that they didn't struggle or fail. But the truth is, every single person who has achieved greatness has experienced failure. What sets them apart is their ability to get back up and try again. They didn't let failure stop them, they let it fuel their growth. Growth is not about avoiding mistakes or failures, it's about learning from them. It's about being willing to fail forward, taking each failure and using it as a stepping stone to the next level. Growth is about becoming better with every attempt, not about achieving perfection. And when you embrace failure as a part of your growth process, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. Failure is not the end, it's just a part of the journey. If you're afraid of failure, you'll never know what you're capable of achieving. But if you embrace failure, you'll realize that it's not a barrier to success, but a path to it. Failure doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. It doesn't make you less worthy. It makes you wiser. Every time you fail, you gain insight into yourself and your path. You discover what works, what doesn't, how to approach things differently the next time. The process of growth is not linear. It's messy, unpredictable, and filled with failure. But it's through this very process that we learn, evolve, and transform. Embrace failure, and you embrace the growth that comes with it. And it is through that growth that you'll find the strength to keep moving forward, no matter how many times you fall. Focus and purpose are the twin pillars upon which every great achievement stands. They are the foundation of success, the driving force behind progress, and the compass that guides us through the complexities of life. When you have focus and purpose, you are equipped to overcome distractions, stay committed in the face of challenges, and ultimately reach your highest potential. Without them, you will find yourself lost in a sea of confusion, struggling to make progress or achieve anything meaningful. Life will throw countless distractions your way, pulling your attention in 1,000 different directions. Opportunities will arise, some enticing and some promising, but without focus, you'll never be able to truly capitalize on any of them. You will be pulled from one goal to another, unable to finish what you start. And in the end, you'll back and realize you've spent your time spinning in circles. Focus gives you the clarity you need to direct your energy where it matters most. And purpose gives you the fuel to stay on course when the path becomes difficult. It is essential to understand that focus is not just about being able to concentrate on one thing at a time. It's about eliminating the noise, tuning out the distractions, and deliberately choosing where to invest your time and energy. In a world full of constant distractions, social media, news cycles, the pressures of everyday life, it's easy to become overwhelmed and scatter your attention across a million different things. But the most successful people in life understand that success is built by concentrating on a single goal, by directing their efforts towards one purpose with unwavering commitment. It's about saying no to everything that doesn't align with your objectives and saying yes to the things that move you forward. When you can focus your energy and attention in this way, you stop wasting time and begin to build momentum. Purpose, on the other hand, is the deeper reason why you do what you do. It's the driving force behind your actions, the underlying meaning that gives your efforts direction and significance. Without purpose, focus can become an aimless pursuit. It's like sailing a ship without a map. No matter how fast you go, you will never reach your destination. Purpose is what provides that map, giving you a clear sense of where you're headed and why you're on this journey in the first place. It helps you make decisions that are aligned with your values, your long-term goals, and your vision for the future. When you have purpose, every step you take feels meaningful because you know it's moving you closer to something greater than yourself. One of the most effective ways to strengthen your focus is to eliminate distractions. This means taking control of your environment and making intentional choices about how you spend your time. Turn off notifications on your phone, close irrelevant tabs on your computer, and create a workspace that is free from clutter. The more you can create a space that is conducive to focus, the easier it becomes to concentrate on the task at hand. But it's not just about your physical environment, it's also about your mental environment. Mental distractions such as worry, fear, and doubt can sabotage your ability to focus. This is where purpose comes in. When you have a clear sense of purpose, it acts as an anchor that keeps you grounded. It helps you stay calm in the face of challenges, knowing that each obstacle is just a temporary detour on your way to your greater goal. Purpose gives you the mental clarity you need to stay focused, even when things get tough. Purpose, however, is not always easy to find. In fact, it can be one of the most challenging things to uncover. Some people are fortunate enough to discover their purpose early in life, while others spend years searching for it and call it. But one thing is certain: purpose is not something you can fabricate or force. It's not something you can find by following someone else's path or living according to someone else's expectations. Purpose comes from within. It's a deep knowing, a sense of calling that is uniquely yours. Finding your purpose requires introspection, self-awareness, and a willingness to ask yourself hard questions about who you are and what truly matters to you. It's a journey of self-discovery that requires time, patience, and reflection. But once you find it, everything else in your life falls into place. Your focus sharpens, your actions become more intentional, and you begin to move with purpose. Having a sense of purpose doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out. It's not about knowing the exact steps to take in order to achieve your ultimate goal. Rather, it's about having a guiding light that keeps you on the right path, even when the road ahead is unclear. Purpose is what keeps you going during difficult times. It's what gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow or when you face setbacks. Purpose is the reason you get out of bed in the morning. It's what drives you to keep working, even when the going gets tough. And when you combine purpose with focus, you create an unstoppable force. But focus and purpose aren't just about achieving your goals. They're about living in alignment with your deepest values and desires. When you have focus and purpose, every action you take feels aligned with your true self. You don't waste time chasing things that don't matter or pursuing goals that don't serve your higher purpose. Instead, you prioritize the things that are most important to you, and you pursue them with unwavering commitment. Focus and purpose allow you to create a life that is meaningful, fulfilling, and authentic. It's not about accumulating material wealth or chasing external validation. It's about living a life that reflects who you truly are and what you truly want to contribute to the world. In order to maintain focus and purpose, you must be willing to make sacrifices. Sacrifice is the price you pay for success, and it's something that those who achieve greatness understand all too well. There will be times when you have to say no to certain things in order to say yes to your goals. You'll have to turn down opportunities that may seem appealing but ultimately don't align with your purpose. You'll have to make choices that require discipline and delayed gratification. The road to success is rarely easy, and there will be many obstacles along the way. But when you stay focused on your purpose, you can weather those challenges and keep moving forward. The sacrifices you make today will pay off in the long run, and when you look back, you'll realize that the hard work and discipline were all worth it. Focus and purpose also require resilience. Life is unpredictable, and things won't always go according to plan. There will be times when you face failure, rejection, or disappointment, but when you have a clear sense of purpose, you can bounce back from setbacks with renewed determination. Your purpose becomes your motivation to keep going, even when the road gets rough. Resilience is the ability to adapt to changing circumstances, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward no matter what. When you combine resilience with focus, you become unstoppable. You don't let obstacles derail you or distract you from your purpose. Instead, you use them as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more determined. Finally, focus and purpose are about living a life of integrity. They require you to be true to yourself and your values. When you live with purpose, you are guided by a moral compass that keeps you on the right path. You don't compromise your principles for short-term gain or let external pressure sway you from your goals. Focus and purpose allow you to live with authenticity, to pursue what truly matters to you, and to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. When you live with focus and purpose, you align your actions with your deepest values, and that alignment creates a life that is both successful and fulfilling. Growth never happens in your comfort zone. The very essence of growth lies in the discomfort, the challenges, and the struggles that push you beyond what you know, beyond what you're accustomed to, and into a space where real transformation occurs. It's easy to stay where things are familiar, where you feel safe and secure. The temptation to stay in a space that doesn't require you to stretch or challenge yourself is strong. But that's where mediocrity lies. The more comfortable you get, the more stagnant you become. If you want to achieve anything extraordinary, if you want to grow into the best version of yourself, then you must learn to push past the walls of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is essentially a psychological barrier that you build for yourself. It's a place where things feel predictable, where you can anticipate the outcome of your actions, where you don't have to face the uncertainty that comes with the unknown. It feels good to stay within the zone. But as soon as you try to step outside of it, you encounter resistance. That resistance is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It's the mind trying to protect you from what it perceives as a threat. But the truth is, the only real threat is staying where you are. Comfort zones keep you trapped in patterns that don't serve you, preventing you from reaching your full potential. The first step in pushing past your comfort zone is recognizing that the discomfort you feel when you're about to step into something new is not an indicator of something bad. It's an indicator of something good. It means you're about to grow, to stretch, to evolve. The discomfort that comes with stepping outside of your comfort zone is your signal to move forward, not to retreat. Every time you face that resistance and choose to push through it, you grow stronger. You develop new skills, a new mindset, and a new level of confidence. The more you do it, the easier it gets, not because the challenges get smaller, but because your capacity to handle them grows larger. We are often conditioned to avoid discomfort. Society tells us to seek comfort, to find ease, to minimize risks. From a young age, we're taught to play it safe, to take the path of least resistance. But this mindset limits our potential. Real success is not about avoiding discomfort or taking the easy way out. It's about learning how to face the discomfort head on and using it as fuel to drive us forward. The most successful people in any field, whether in business, sports, or personal development, are those who have learned to embrace discomfort, who seek out the challenge and push through the fear. They don't let their comfort zone define them. Instead, they constantly redefine what is possible by stepping beyond what is comfortable and venturing into the unknown. Another important aspect of stepping outside your comfort zone is developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This contrasts with a fixed mindset, which believes that your qualities are set in stone. When you have a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to learn, not as obstacles to avoid. You are open to failure because you understand that failure is part of the learning process. You realize that pushing past your comfort zone is not about being perfect, but about improving, adapting, and growing stronger. When you step outside your comfort zone, you begin to uncover new aspects of yourself. You start to realize that you are capable of much more than you initially believed. The mind has a tendency to underestimate its own potential, often holding us back from even trying things because we fear we will fail. But failure is a necessary part of the process. It is through failure that you discover your limits, and through pushing past those limits that you find new boundaries. Each time you succeed in doing something that once terrified you, you expand your sense of what's possible. The world around you does not limit you, your beliefs and fears do. Once you challenge those beliefs and push past the fears that hold you back, you unlock a whole new world of opportunities. This process isn't always immediate, and it isn't always linear. There will be setbacks, there will be moments of self-doubt, and there will be times when you question whether it's worth it. But these are the moments that define you. When you push past the moments of doubt, when you push through the discomfort and keep moving forward, you begin to solidify the habits and the mindset of a winner. It's easy to quit when things get tough. It's easy to give in when the path ahead looks unclear. But the key to real progress is pushing forward, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're unsure of the outcome. Even when every part of your body and mind wants to retreat back into the safe, familiar, and comfortable.